Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video to do my Green Bay Packers Beast Week 16 recap show. Oh boy. Here on Monday night, we opened a can of whoop ass on the New Orleans Saints. We are officially now in the playoffs with this win. First shutout of the year for every team, by the way. But we are officially in the playoffs with this win. 34-0 was the final. Dominating performance. We were up 21-0 at the half. Didn't really do that much offensively in the second half, but we dominated on defense, so they didn't do that much there. Got 2 field goals, a big 55-yard field goal by Brandon, our kicker. He also kicked the 46. We did get a touchdown at the end when Manuel Wilson came in. I'm sorry, Malik Willis. Malik Willis and Emmanuel Wilson. Emmanuel Wilson got the touchdown. Malik Willis got got a couple pass completions. Or he only got one, actually. I'm sorry. He did I think he did like a run or something. But yeah. Biggest concern coming out of this game, the only negative really coming out of this game was Christian Watson did suffer some type of, I think, knee injury. Don't exactly sure what the injury was. They ruled him out immediately. So I'm not exactly sure if it's a serious injury or a minor injury. I have a feeling he could have tried to force himself back in. But because they were winning by so much, I think Matt just decided to just keep him out for the rest of the game. Jordan Love came out with like 7 minutes left in the game, or 6 minutes left in the game. But yeah, Jordan Love, 16 for 28, 182 yards passing. He had a touchdown pass to Wicks. Malik Willis, again, 1 for 2, 34 yards passing when he came in towards the end there. But yeah, the running game was really kind of, the stats don't really show it here, but the running game was really going off here. Josh Jacobs was the leading rusher, 13 attempts for 69 yards rushing. Had a rushing touchdown. We already said Emmanuel Wilson at the end did have a rushing touchdown, but he also had 11 attempts for 52 yards rushing, right behind Josh Jacobs. Chris Brooks, 6 attempts for 23 yards rushing. He also had a touchdown pass. Christian Watson had 2 attempts for 23 yards rushing before he was taken out with the injury. Bo Milton had 1 attempt for 14 yards. And everyone else had less. Jaden Reed had 5 on 1 attempt. Everyone else had less than 5. So then for receiving, Wicks had 3 receptions for 13 yards and obviously had the only touchdown pass from Jordan Love. We did see Luke Musgrave come back in. He did have 1 attempt. I think he had like 1 thrown to him, but he didn't make that catch. But it's good to try to see working him in. Tucker Kraft had 3 receptions for 63 yards receiving. Romeo Doubs had 2 receptions for 20 yards. Josh Jacobs, the running back, had 4 receptions for 38 yards receiving. Jaden Reed had 3 receptions for 76 yards receiving and was our leading He was our leading receiver in this game, despite not having any touchdowns. Um, Tricky Dicky Nixon had one forced fumble. Valentine also had a forced fumble. Critical points in the games too. Um, Number 39, Anderson, one of our newer guys that we have, his first start. Um, uh, he had a big interception because this was the one time in the game where I believe the Saints were like on the red zone or at least close to it. And he picked them off. And after that, the Saints were never close again to scoring. I'm talking about just scoring in this game. I mean, like it was completely one sided. Cox Jr. had a sack. Uh, Watts had a sack. Tricky Dicky. Nixon had a sack as well. And like I said, Brandon had 2 field goals, 4 extra points. All the extra points were made. So yeah, total dominating performance on the Saints to get in the playoffs. So I wasn't that concerned. I really felt we had an easy game here against the Saints, but nothing is guaranteed, obviously. But I thought with our team, the way we've been playing, I thought, we should be able to beat this team. They don't have Carr in there. Doesn't change anything because obviously we're going to be playing better teams going into the playoffs, but we are officially in the playoffs with this win, which is the most important thing. My biggest concern coming out of this now that we are officially in the playoffs is what do we do for the next 2 weeks? Now, I'm really surprised this hasn't been brought up yet. But we mathematically cannot win our division, right? That was brought up once in the game. We cannot mathematically win our division. We cannot win the North Division, okay? It's either the Lions or the Vikings that are going to win that, you know? So the way I'm looking at this, I am like really, really like wondering what we are going to do here. Because we are in a unique position here. We can only at the most get the 5th seed. Right now we are at the 6th seed. Okay. We are at the 6th seed right now, which is probably the biggest odds we have. But we could get the 5th seed if we beat the Vikings next week. We have our pretty good odds if we beat them next week. But my question would be now is, do we want the 5th seed though? And I know that's crazy to say, but because we mathematically can't get seeds 1 through 4 going into the next 2 weeks, do we want the 5th seed? It's crazy to say, but do we want the 5th? Do we want the 5th seed? Because I look at this and I'm like, okay, does the 5th seed benefit us? Like in terms of the matchup? Because right now, as it stands right now, the Rams are the 3rd seed and the Falcons are the 4th seed. If right now we'd play the Rams. Now, anything can change in the next 2 weeks because Seattle's still trying to upend the Rams for that division, and the Buccaneers are still going to try to upend the Falcons for that division. But me personally, I would want to play the Rams because we beat the Rams. We beat the Rams, and I think we can beat the Rams again. I think we go to the Rams Stadium and beat them again. I think we have a better team than them. I really would not put no stock into the Buffalo game. I just think that was a fluke day. They didn't play that good against the Jets. Um, you know, I think we can beat the Rams. I and it, as easy as it sounds to say that we can definitively beat the Atlanta Falcons because they have an inexperienced quarterback at the helm now. I wouldn't. I would not take that for granted. I would not take that for granted. Their rookie quarterback, is only in his first start. He's gone up against the Giants, obviously. That's not a really good thing to brag about. But I still am very weary of that right now. I personally would much rather play the Rams right now if I was like trying to manipulate what team I'm playing. And I'm wondering if the Packers are going to be in that situation. Like, it's like, well, do we want to win this game in week 18 if it means that we're going to play this team versus that team? Like, we're in a unique situation because we can't win our division. It's like, what do we want to do? Do we want to stay as the 6th seed or do we want to go up to the 5th seed? You know what I'm saying? It's a weird scenario here. And we're going up against division rivals. I mean, we're playing the Vikings next week, who we want to beat. And then we're playing the Bears in week 18 in Green Bay, who we want to beat, obviously. But in terms of positioning, in terms of where do we want to go? Who do we want to beat? Who do we want to play in the playoffs? Which path do we want to go? It's a very weird scenario. And I was thinking about this. I'm like, what do we do here? You know? So I'm very curious of what we do. What we do here. Because we have to go out next week and beat the Vikings. We have to beat the freaking Vikings. But if we beat the Vikings, and I don't know what the tie-breaking scenario would be if we do beat the Vikings next week, because we did not beat them the first time. But that's going to be an interesting scenario right there. Is like, if we beat them next week and we're in a tie with them, it's like, well, do we want to stay as the 5th seed or do we want to go down to the 6th? That's the one thing I'm going to be looking at to see what they do. But in terms of this win, this is pretty much, like I said, pretty much well-rounded, good coaching. Didn't take the Saints for granted. They just went out there and opened a can of butt whoop on them and, made it a short day, essentially, is going over these stats. It's just a very all-around, really just dominating game, one-sided by the Packers, and I'm very happy for it, obviously. Go, Pack, go. Yeah. Comment, rate. If you like this video, my videos, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell for the latest content. Thank you. And that is about it. I am the Ultimate Goku. I'm out of here. Peace. Also, make sure, besides my YouTube channel, the Ultimate Goku, follow the Twitch, the Ultimate Goku, Instagram, the Ultimate Goku, and I do have a Discord link in the description where we discuss various topics, including this. Also, I have a YouTube tier list. So if you're interested in perks like that, check it out. Now I'm out. Peace.